Welcome to the Afterbuzz TV studios and our brand new show, Game of Thrones Off Season, where we will be meeting every month to discuss the hottest news and topics in the Game of Thrones world. This episode, we're talking sex, love, and relationships. Coming right up.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, Afterbuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Yes.
I'm a sister, love my brother, wanna have sex with my family members. It's wrong.
Yes, the chorus. The chorus is back. Welcome everybody to Game of Thrones Off Season. So what are we all about? Just like how your favorite sports are never on the air all year long, neither are our favorite shows. And our favorite show is Game of Thrones. And trust us, there's plenty to talk about. So we're meeting here every month to discuss what we love, which is Game of Thrones. And I'm Ryan Malaty. I'll be your host. And joining me, as always, is a wonderful panel. To my left, Mr. Dave Child.
Hi, I'm Dave Child. You can find me at Marr and Dave Child at davechild.com because I'm Dave Child. We're going to talk about how they're training up for the new season, how they're going to, I don't know. We're talking about the show we like. We never stop watching it.
What are you drinking over there? What's that?
This is water. I'm enjoying water.
And the perpetually lovely Kristen Snyder.
Hey guys, you can follow me at Cinematic Escape. I am drinking Pedialyte in water because if you didn't know, your body can't absorb water without electrolytes, and Pedialyte, I use the powder, so there's no sugar. It's a nice way to stay hydrated, and it's really good for your body.
This is what you're going to learn.
The more you know. I mean, if you're gonna talk about sex and relationships, you better be hydrated.
You gotta be hydrated. How you doing over there, Mr. Matt Marr?
Hello, thank y'all for having me.
Yeah.
I'm Matt Marr. I normally do the Arrow show and CW Weekly and just whatever they want me to do.
We were on Preacher together.
We were on Preacher. Oh, sorry, I'm singing that. Preacher's good. Dominic Cooper's really hot. Okay, you can find me at _Marr, 2 T's, 2 R's.
2 T's, so that's beautiful. Thank you for joining us
Hey,
for this,
thanks for
this
having
special
me.
episode. For
Good to be
the
here.
episode of the month we're in February. February is the month of love, or lack thereof, for some people.
Don't you dare!
I know, but first, before we get into our main topic, let's talk some news because, I mean, Game of Thrones is off the air, but there's plenty going on in the world and the universe of it. And to start off for our news segment, I want to talk a little bit about how Lucasfilm had just announced recently that the showrunners, writers and producers of Game of Thrones, David Benioff and D.B. Weiss, are slated to start their own series of Star Wars movies. Can you believe that? They're going to be writing and producing alongside director Ryan Johnson, who did the most recent films.
Awesome director.
And as always, Kathleen Kennedy will have the final say of everything as president of Lucasfilm. But I'm really stoked because these guys, what they did with Game of Thrones, I'd love to see them translate that into the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, and I mean, I might be slaughtered online by all my fellow geeks and nerds out there, but to be honest, the recent renditions of the Star Wars movies have kind of left me yearning for more. It just kind of seems like kind of the same stories rehashed. I mean, I know he doesn't agree with me, but rather, hey, Rogue One was legit. I'm just saying.
I disagree with everything.
Hey, that's fine. I'm just saying.
I enjoyed them too.
What Game of Thrones did.
I
think the great thing that we love about the Game of Thrones series is that they kind of blur the line between right and wrong. There's always a gray area. You start to see things from other people's perspectives, and then you start to root for them. And the thing that Star Wars has always brought us is a very clear, definitive right and wrong, light and dark. And to have these guys come in and kind of breathe a breath of fresh air into the season, I think is going to be really cool. What do you guys think is going to happen?
Yeah, it's kind of like the new movie. Also brought in a gray area, which is why I liked it so much.
How many shades of gray?
It was darker and freed. I don't know, but it was. It was like it did bring in that feeling of you saw more of the gray. You saw these questions of when someone is toxic, maybe cut them out of your life. Not everyone's redeemable. All those themes were in the new one, so I'm glad that they're coming in and doing it. Also, remember when Luke and Leia kissed in the original movies?
Oh yeah, that's
Okay.
true.
So
All
who
right.
you gotta bring in when you want more kissing
Who you gonna
brothers
call?
and sisters?
Incest producers.
Okay. But
Incest twins.
Incest activate.
there's definitely a huge. It's not even like a. It's like its own topic today is incest.
Right.
So
It's
we
its
will.
own. I do
We'll
feel.
definitely. We'll get
I really though do feel like it's one of my really good friends. He loves Star Wars more than anything, except for maybe a tie with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
And then like right under that's like Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the
Lord
Things.
of the Things.
I'm Lord
I like
of the,
that better.
That's like a really gay guy. He's like, I'm Lord of the Things. Anyway, I do feel like so many straight nerds they were like, and I'm surprised there wasn't like riots in comic stores, but like happy, like people just going and throwing things, because I think it is a perfect marriage.
Yeah.
I think I'm excited about it. I'm worried that they're going to kill off too many people that I love in Star Wars, because they kind of give no shits about killing people.
Well, they don't kill people off. In fact, I mean,
that's
with
not
exception
them,
with exception
it's-
of Rogue One, right? I don't know to spoil it, the whole movie, but I
Sorry,
mean, in this
it's been
newest
4
movie,
years.
they didn't even kill off the characters who died in real life. Like the actors who are dead are still alive in the movie.
It's true.
So it's like, yeah.
Well,
I
it's
can see them.
also going to be a whole nother universe, right? It's kind of like Ryan Johnson's about to make a new trilogy of films.
The Solo?
And
Solo
not Solo. It's just totally not Solo. Has nothing to do with previous Skywalker.
It's like its own world.
Lore. It's its own like story that exists in the Star Wars universe.
And that's what these are that they're doing. They're
the three films that are coming out. And so I don't know what the Star Wars show is going to be like. I assume it's going to be a lot like that Ryan Johnson's universe that's about to come, where it's a whole new storyline, and where it's not like Clone Wars or Rebels or
I don't know if it's
anything
a
like
series.
that.
I think it's a series of films.
I think it's
Oh, they're a
mid-film.
part of. They're doing the
Yeah,
films.
they're-
now.
They're doing the Ryan. What you were talking about
Yeah.
is what GOT guys are doing.
Oh, that's what it is. Yeah,
Yeah,
so it's
so
not.
it's a series of films.
It's not going to be related to any. If it's the Ryan Johnson ones, then it's not related to any of the characters.
Which made
from
me
the previous
excited.
films.
Although they have been bringing in some of the Game of Thrones actors, most notably Gwendolyn Christie,
So, yeah.
and Emilia Clarke actually has come in for
Yeah, I
for
saw
her,
that.
for her
Solo.
new Star Wars and in Solo. So Maisie Williams and some of the other cast are like waiting, hoping, standing by their phones. I guess I
Right.
heard.
Yeah, because
trying
they're
to,
gonna. They don't have. They're not gonna have stuff to do. Well,
Yeah.
they will. Some of them. will.
No, plenty.
They'll be fine.
Who do you think would play Anakin White Walker?
Anakin Whitewalker.
That's good. Well done.
And with that,
Yeah. So that little like.
yeah, thank you.
I mean, I do know that
that
there's
felt good.
such a Star Wars world that a lot of people don't even know about with the animated clone, with all the
Yeah,
Clone
that's-
Wars, and everything.
right.
So
And Rebels,
I'm
yeah.
imagining they might pick up some of that. Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
we'll
what
see
I
how
hope.
much
That's what I
canon
think.
they actually add to
Yeah.
the universe and how much they actually play off of the old, films. I'm excited to see. We'll stay in touch with this story as it develops month to month. In the meantime, Dave, what do you got for us?
Yes. Before we move on, I just also want to hope that this means they're not doing the Confederate show, or they're putting that.
Okay,
more
I
on
was
the
going to
show.
ask, are they not doing the Confederate shit? Because come
I'm
on.
curious about that.
Boy, that just kind of died away.
That kind of like after it got the uproar of people's reaction to it, it kind of
Right.
went on the shelf, and we haven't really heard about it. So I'm curious to see what happens with that. Okay, so my news is it's book news, but do not get excited. Do not. Everyone, calm down.
I'm already excited.
It's book news.
Book news.
All that this means. So originally, George R. R. Martin was going to come out with this one series that's based off the history of the Targaryen family called Fire and Blood. And originally, it's going to come out after the next two books that we're all still waiting for, Winds of Winter and A Song of Spring. And as soon as those came out, Fire and Blood was supposed to come out. He has said he's not doing that. He's actually splitting up Fire and Blood into 2 volumes.
Oh no.
And the first volume is coming out the beginning of next year. So it'll be coming out before Winds of Winter. He said this on his blog in a comment section where he's talking to all his fans and stuff. And it's so before Winds of Winter will be Fire and Blood Volume 1 about the Targaryen family up to like this point. And I think there's stuff about the future of the Targaryen family that'll be in Volume 2 that'll come out after the rest of the books come out. So that's just a little
Cool.
update about the books. You still waiting?
Still waiting.
Also, by the way,
Jesus.
I recently
He
saw.
gives no fucks anymore. Sorry.
I recently saw the Logan Lucky. Did you guys see Logan Lucky?
I did see Logan Lucky.
It has the best Winds of Winter joke. I think that really surprised me in the middle of Logan Lucky. They start talking about Winds of Winter in a great joke I don't want to ruin. So watch Logan Lucky if you need a good George R. R. Martin book
It's
joke.
good. Is that Aaron Sorkin? No, it's
No, it's Steven Soderbergh.
Steven Soderbergh is good.
Yeah, but it's good. But anyways, news about that should be coming out early 2019. So actually probably before the new series starts, because the series is going to come back in April 2019.
Mm-hmm. We got quite a bit.
So quite a long time to wait. But before that, you can get Fire and Blood Volume 1, which will include some stories that he's already released in certain just short stories that have popped up in random books and anthologies. Cool. So he's kind of combining them, so it's all about the Targaryens, though.
There you go. When you're done listening to this podcast, go ahead and open up Song of Fire and Ice to get it started. Maybe by the time you're done, you can start reading about
Fire and Blood.
Fire and Blood by next year. Kristen, what do you got for us?
So Maisie Williams was on Jimmy Kimmel Live promoting her new film, Early Man. And he started talking to her about Game of Thrones and asking her, shouldn't she be tracking down Cersei Lannister? And she basically started talking about filming and how they called her and told her she had to come back to set early. And he asked her how much filming she had left, and she said endless amounts. It's a mammoth task this year. It's going to be huge. So Jimmy then said, based on what she had said, so then you're in a lot of episodes. And she said, no, not necessarily.
Okay.
So the rumor on the internet this week is that Arya Stark may die in the final season of Game of Thrones. What do you guys think about this?
I don't like it.
Interesting. Well, she's one of the few characters who can exist without actually needing Maisie Williams. Arya Stark has the ability to change faces. So, who knows? She might be gone, or she might die, but maybe not really. I would imagine that, since she can be a character who can change faces, maybe the actress herself wasn't necessary. But I don't know. Maybe they kill her off. I mean, I wouldn't put it past them. She has it coming.
I'm really hoping that she kills Cersei with Jaime's face. But that means Jaime has to die, right? But Jaime has always been on the wrong side of the road following Cersei. So
He's
I feel
on the
like
block. Come on.
his days are numbered. I want her to take his face. I want Cersei not to know. And wouldn't that be amazing to just Arya to get her revenge, but then also for Cersei to think that her brother, her lover, killed her.
That would be poetic.
Well, it's part of the prophecy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's also I do like how I feel like if Arya dies, she's going to die towards the end of the season. I think it's going to be one of the in the final episode things.
Right.
I could see her saving Sansa. That would be kind of a very bookmark about their relationship, because I like that we're kind of coming back to that hopefully more in this season, and we got good closure on that.
Yeah.
Last season, that's all I'm going to say if you haven't watched, but come on.
You should be, if you're watching the Game of Thrones off season, I hope you caught up on all the seasons.
Somebody in Gary in Idaho was like, this show looks good, I'll watch it before Game of Thrones.
Oh no, they're ruining everything.
That child's a horrible person. Tweet.
Yeah, we shouldn't have to give spoiler alerts on that Game of Thrones after show.
But I could see her dying for her sister.
Yeah.
The sacrifice play kind of a thing for Arya.
Jaime, I can also see kind of dying as a hero, because he's kind of a redeemable hero.
Definitely.
In the last couple seasons.
I think he's going to full on kill his sister.
Without Arya being behind it.
Another thing from that interview too, I don't want to step on your toes.
No, please.
I think they also asked her about the multiple endings, because there's the rumor that they've shot several multiple endings so that it won't be spoiled about which ending will come out, and her response was she doesn't think they have the budget to do that many endings.
Really?
Yeah. But she also said that with the ending, she has read it, she knows what the ending is, and it's going to be huge. But that's also kind of feels like what you would say.
Right.
But remember when
I've
Jon
read the
Snow
ending.
was going to die? Remember how much nobody talked about Jon Snow coming back?
But everyone knew.
But everyone knew, and they flat out lied. So it's this could be a script that she's, you know, if I was an actor, I would totally freaking lie and be like, oh yeah, I filmed like 2 episodes, that's it. And then everyone's like, what? Matt's still in this? And I'm like, yes.
Well, one of my favorite things that's been happening on this off season is it seems like a lot of these actors are just enjoying trolling the fans. Like there was the actor who plays Jamie. He said that like we can't learn our lines, we can't read the scripts until the day of, and then they're read into our earpieces, and then we have to say everything that comes out of our earpieces.
No.
Oh my gosh.
Which is a total lie.
Yeah,
And
no.
he was called on that later by, what I love is that's what Jamie said, and then the actor who plays Davos said that's total bullshit.
Yeah.
And I think it's like fitting with their characters that Jamie's lying and Davos is like, no, not at all.
Yeah.
I need to be straightforward.
Yeah.
Not at all, which is great.
Yeah, they must be having a good time. I mean, what are you going to do for a year and a half if
Yeah.
you're not actively filming? And everyone's
Right.
asking you questions every other day. You know, the whole boilerplate response probably gets old, and I'm sure a lot of people are having fun out there.
I'm hoping that the guy who plays Tormund and the Hound, they start a band together because they've been posting videos on Instagram of them singing together and having fun together because of the last couple of episodes from last season. They were hanging out a lot.
Yeah, Hodor could DJ.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Hodor can DJ.
Exactly.
That would be great. That would be fantastic. Now, when did they stop filming, by the way? Do we know?
When
Oh,
do they
they're
start?
still.
I know
Yeah.
they're
They
still doing it now
started
because
in
it's winter,
August.
but like, are they going into summer? Like, are they going into spring, summer to film as well? Does that give us the foretelling of like the show's gonna like move in like past a winter period?
Oh, that's
or-
an interesting point.
like, so it'd be interesting to see when they're, because that's the whole reason why they waited, because they're
Right.
like, it's got to be real cold, y'all.
Matt Marr coming with the hard-hitting questions. You know what we can do is we can make an actual, you know, honest-to-God effort to see where they are in filming and production.
Yeah,
and
we should do
bring
that.
back next month. We should do
time
that.
travel.
That's something that Game of
That's
Thrones off-season
problem.
should really do. Someone should
really
tell
do.
those guys to get on top
I'm
of
gonna tell-
filming production
yeah.
schedules and,
But
and
keep in
whatnot.
mind, one of the only things we know about the end of the whole Game of Thrones world is that the last 2 books are Winds of Winter, which is kind of what we've already seen because we got to get caught up in the books for what's happening in the movies. But also the last one is Songs of Spring.
So yeah,
So that might mean a sense of hope
rebirth.
at the end and a rebirth.
yeah, because they gotta. I don't hardly think they film. I mean, maybe they do, but it doesn't seem like a lot is filmed unless it's an interior on a set, like on a studio.
Yeah.
It's all
They do a lot
on
of
location.
like where
yeah.
Winterfell is. It's probably covered in snow right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, which is
We should go. Afterbuzz pay for it.
let's go.
yeah. Well,
We're gonna start a Kickstarter so you can get us to Britain.
Speaking of spring and love,
Speaking of love, guys, thank you so much for the news updates.
Transitions.
We'll be back next month with some more updates on production and whatever else is in the news that's noteworthy.
Yeah.
For our topic today, we're talking love and sex and relationships. First of all, can I just break the fourth wall and just ask you guys a little bit about how your Valentine's Day was? Did you have one?
it was awful.
Yeah. I had an amazing Valentine's Day.
Oh wow, that's great.
Yeah, it was really nice.
What's
Like,
he do?
I just started dating this guy that I met at Pauly Shore's 50th birthday party.
Oh my God, you just bragged about
That's a name
dating a
drop
guy,
that
having
you
a
should
wonderful
not name drop.
Valentine's, and
That's
meeting him
like-
at a Pauly Shores.
You're welcome.
There's a lot
That's
of
all I can
Hollywood
say.
going on
That's all I
right
can
there.
say. And he
Good
picked me up for
for
dinner.
you.
Was
He-
it at
he-
the Standard?
No, he actually asked me. The guy got my number that night. He asked me to go to dinner the very next day, and then Valentine's Day was like the next week. Right? So, like,
Okay.
I thought he would totally avoid it.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
most guys
And he embraced
in
it.
LA anyway. And he was like, on like Sunday night, he was like, send me a text, like, will you be my Valentine?
Okay, I gotta ask,
Aw.
which character in our show, just to bring it back home,
Yeah.
would you compare most to your
Ooh.
new man?
Ooh.
Oberyn Martell, the sexiest
You were ready
man
with that.
Yeah, I didn't even.
of Game of Thrones.
Oberyn Martell is good in bed. You
Yes.
know it. I mean, they don't call him the snake for nothing.
Oh,
How-
mind-blowingly
Sorry.
good.
Can I just
sex,
say
I
how
heard.
Yeah, I'm
perfectly
sure.
matched
Eye-popping.
he was with Ilaria Sands? Like, they were so perfectly matched
They really
Yeah.
were.
until he got his face smashed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he
That was
wasn't
one of
as
them.
gorgeous. But
I'm not
I mean, I thought he was
Yeah,
better
that's
matched
gorgeous.
with the guys he had sex with, but that is just me.
Yes. I mean, they definitely had a different
Opinion
relationship.
schminions.
Well, I'm glad you had a good Valentine's Day. I
about you?
wrote a poem. It goes like this: roses for beauty, clovers for luck, Netflix for me, 'cause I'm single AF.
Oh.
That last part doesn't rhyme.
Right. Yeah,
Why
I don't
doesn't that last
care.
part rhyme?
It's poetry. It doesn't have to rhyme.
That's
It's
You're
weird.
single with your Disney Prince nose and
Yeah.
like pretty hair. You're single.
Oh, thanks, Matt.
No way. People, you could sell like your nose and people would get an. I would get that like nose job.
I could sell a
No,
mold
it's a
of my nose.
perfect nose.
Yeah.
It's a Disney Prince nose.
I've never heard that. Thank you.
Oh yeah, it looks just like
Aladdin?
the Beast, but when he turns into the man at the
Oh
end.
wait. All right. Where does this
Not
go?
the Beast, but like the Prince Beast, whatever his name is.
Prince Adam, I think.
Right.
His name.
Is it Adam?
I think so.
Whatever. It's
You
a nice
would know
nose.
all the
Well,
princes'
thanks.
names.
Hey, you know, I'm a Disney fan. You know, like Lucasfilm.
Hey.
Hey, what do you know?
Why was yours terrible,
Thanks,
Dave Child?
It was just, it was what it was. It was. I think
It was February 14th. I think is what
one
it
of those
was.
days where it was just like, oh, this is nice. Everyone's posting about like being in love. That's great. Everyone's still posting about being in love. That was
Yeah.
good. I actually did talk to a nice girl, and we talked for a while. So
Oh.
maybe, but it was kind of, it's what it was.
Did she talk back?
No, that's the weird thing. Like, I kept talking to her, but she just wouldn't talk. And at one point, we were like running down the street. It was fun. It was like me right behind her, just running. It was just nice to get some exercise.
We went on a little jog together.
A
Huh?
little jog. It was great.
And she was singing the whole way.
She has a very beautiful house.
Oh, love is in the air.
Love is
Can
in
you
the
feel it? Can you feel the love? You know, you guys. I feel like you are so in tune
Yeah.
with your relationships and your in this world. Let's go into the fantasy world.
Oh.
And
Okay.
let's play a little game called Matchmaker.
Matchmaker,
Matchmaker, make us
Be a
a match.
match. Wait, we don't have the rights to that song. Don't sing it.
I think we were just off
Yeah.
enough that we were
Yeah, I
fine.
don't think it's that much.
I'm gonna go ahead and let's give the bachelorettes of Game of Thrones some due.
Okay.
It's normally in fantasy worlds you see that it's a girl who has a choice between multiple guys,
Yes.
whether it's in Twilight or in Harry Potter. It's always the girl who has like a few choices, so that's what we're gonna give them. And this is based on relationships that these women have had in Game of Thrones. And we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna list them off, and you guys tell me who you think is the best match. Okay? We're starting off with Queen Sansa, Queen of the North, we'll call her, and Sansa's
North.
bachelor number 1, Joffrey Baratheon.
Boo.
Bachelor number 2,
Boo.
Loras Tyrell. Bachelor number 3, Tyrion Lannister.
Okay.
4, Ramsay Bolton.
Boo.
And bachelor number 5, Peter Baelish.
Okay, these all suck.
Okay.
But these are all relationships that Sansa found herself in throughout the
And
7 seasons
now
of
we
Game
know
of
why
Thrones.
Sansa wants to throw herself off a cliff because she's had a sucky love life.
Yeah, it's been rough.
Yeah.
But out of all those, who
Obviously,
would you match her with?
Tyrion.
You think?
I mean, not because it's necessarily what she wants, but he would be the kindest and the most true to her, I feel like,
I mean,
and
the Tyrell
honest.
guy was gonna be real nice. Like he was the older guy, right?
Loras Tyrell, but he wasn't into her. He was into
He was.
Men.
Renly
Oh,
Blanc.
he's the gay one.
So there's that problem.
So he's great. He's got a kingdom, but he's not gonna love her the way that she deserves to be loved.
I say she gets a medieval sex toy and just lets her do his hair, or let him do her hair and makeup, and there you go.
That's nice.
I
Okay,
did like her
that.
with Littlefinger, though.
I did too. I was gonna say little
No.
Yeah.
Listen,
No.
you gotta go through one of those tumultuous relationships
No.
so you can
No.
learn from them
you saying-
and you can move on.
Gary in Indiana is gonna think that Star Wars is not good and that she should date him.
Well, then he's right, Gary Indiana.
Listen. Do you have to go through the relationship of the guy who fell in love with your mom and couldn't get over that enough to the point where he's only interested in you because you resemble your mom,
Yeah.
but you're a younger version, and he is twice her age, no one has to go through that relationship. No one should go through that
I
relationship.
think
sounds
dating
creepy
an
when you put it
older
that way.
man, you learn a lot. You know,
Don't tell.
children of America, turn this off now.
He started grooming her. He started grooming her when she was a teenager. It's literally like
remember when he first kissed her and you were just like, because it's just like pedophile-y.
I will tell you, I was very entertained, and I enjoyed it very much as an on-screen relationship. Do I promote it in real life? I'll leave it up to the fans to decide.
Very good. All right.
Your Valentine was 7.
Out of Loris Tyrell and Peter Baelish, it looks like Peter Baelish.
No! You can't decide that!
I just did.
That's not a decision.
Moving on.
So creepy. The gay guy.
Why?
And by the way, if you're watching or listening, please go ahead and leave us a comment on your opinion of all these matches that we're making, and whether you ship or sink them right there on YouTube.
The closest one is Tyrion, and even that would be a loveless one because they don't really love each other.
Yeah.
Right.
But that would be like that's the only one who would treat her right.
Love grows if you water it, okay?
Sure. But not if you're
Deal.
a creepy old man lusting at. Ugh.
This game's
Moving
gonna be
on
horrible.
to our
I think
next
that's gonna be
next
hard.
eligible bachelorette, Cersei Lannister. So here's the relationship
Bronn.
she's gone through. Yeah, Bronn. Here's her bachelors. We have Robert Baratheon, her ex-husband.
Oh yeah.
Jaime Lannister,
Okay.
brother. Lancel Lannister,
Yeah.
cousin. Euron Greyjoy, who's a new suitor.
Yeah.
And why not the Mountain?
So you're talking about the Mountain in his prime or Franken Mountain?
I'm just saying,
That's a good point.
I'm just saying when he picked her up, you know, after she did the walk of shame and he picked her up, I was like,
That was Franken Mountain, right?
So Franken Mountain.
I feel like out of all the men in the world,
You know-
he's going to treat her exactly the way she wants to be treated.
You know, you're basically creating an undead sex robot with Franken Mountain, and I feel like she needs someone to be kind of very submissive to her. So, and who's not.
Well, but he does what
related
she
to her?
says.
Yeah, I would go with Franken Mountain.
Yeah, all right. Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Euron Greyjoy
Yeah.
only because I could see, like, let's say they both live, Game of Thrones ends, then we see a spin-off, and then it's like Euron Greyjoy, Cersei Lannister living in a trailer park in West Virginia, and like it's not what Cersei wanted. They're just fighting all the time, but they have really good sex. Like this, it's like that's a show. That's a show I would watch.
Yeah.
That would be a disturbing
Call it
show.
King of the Mountain. And
Yeah.
put it on A&E.
Game of trailers.
Yeah.
That's what it could be
Honestly, I have to put Cersei with her twin brother, Jaime, because no one's going to love her as much as he did. I mean, they grew in the womb together. And you
Wait, that
can't...
can't be the only reason.
That is the only reason. Also, they kicked off the series by, like, throwing Bran out the window. I mean, like, just,
And
like...
what is love but throwing a man out a window? A
And
little boy out a
all the
window?
deaths
Tale as
that
old as
they're
time.
responsible for couldn't happen if they weren't together. So I like them together. It was very entertaining. Listen, this is for me. This isn't for them.
They look good together.
They're
you know?
beautiful
They do.
couple.
They do.
Yeah.
She's beautiful. He's very handsome.
They are brother and sister. But, you know, there is a love there. So it's like, are you going to get over the incest? If so, then yes. If you're going to bring in the incest, and that's going to be a problem, go with the undead zombie. That's all I'm saying.
Breaking zombie, yeah.
Hey, you know, you guys I'm learning something new here. Just being with you guys. Learning something new every day.
Learning something.
So who wins since you're the
Okay,
supreme judge of this for some reason?
I'm going to go with the Mountain
Yeah!
wins with Cersei because I really enjoyed picturing
less
them
less
in
creepy than
Indiana.
Peter Baelish.
Yes.
It's less creepy to be
Yes.
an undead giant than it is to be Littlefinger.
She's the
agree.
Mountain's like her booty call.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna fall in love, but she, you know.
He takes commands
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on
Starting to
to
go somewhere. We got to move on.
our next queen of the night is Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen.
I have a very strong opinion about this one.
I
Okay,
have
well,
a strong opinion as well.
I have a few that I think you'll enjoy talking about. Our first bachelor is actually I didn't even write him down. Let's go with Viserys, her brother. Because in the very first season,
She's had so many.
he totally.
Is that the guy?
No.
There's a reason you didn't write that down.
It's true. I'm just,
That's like saying, let's talk about our favorite character from the Brady Bunch, and you say Cousin Arnold. Like that? It's
I'm just saying
ridiculous.
he seemed to, like her a little bit. Anyway, moving on to,
I would rather she sleeps with a dragon.
Yeah.
how about Khal Drogo?
Yes.
Yes, well, yeah.
My sun and stars.
I mean,
It's pretty
was-
hot.
if you can forget the rape
it was
scene.
pretty rapey.
I was going to
Pretty
say.
She was young. She was in culture shock.
She was basically sold to him.
if you can
Basically.
forget all that,
Let me.
So-
it turned into a very deep love, which gave her the
is-
name Khaleesi.
This
She
is-
was born out
Yeah,
of that romance.
It's true.
This is not a Me Too affirmative show. But
No way. All
I
right.
think it can be if you don't argue for the rapist.
the only reason I enjoy Daenerys being with Khal Drogo is because I like to see him naked having simulated sex because he's so freaking gorgeous.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the only reason. So I don't really want them together. I just want to see him naked.
But like his funeral
fair.
is why like her dragon's hatched.
Yeah.
No, but I don't
That's
think it's
fair.
the best relationship. Let's hear more.
All right. Let me list the other three.
Okay.
Jorah Mormont.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Dario Naharis
Uh-huh.
and Jon Snow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
Now hold on. Now, there's no obvious choice.
I think there is.
This is not obvious. What do you think the obvious choice is?
Jon Snow.
Absolutely not.
Oh, wow.
Why? Because they're cousins?
They're not even. She's his
niece.
aunt.
Aunts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's,
It's
again,
It's
I
his
enjoy
aunt.
seeing Jon.
Aunt.
I
It's
enjoy seeing
his
Jon Snow
nephew.
naked too.
It's
Aunt and
his.
nephew.
It's his mom. It's his dad's sister.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's
Yeah.
kind of in
So his
it's
aunt.
kind of in a prophecy. Like it's gonna happen.
Also, that's what Targaryens do. They
Yeah,
even
that's
talk
what
about
they
the
do.
history
Yeah.
of Targaryens, and they just
They do.
they're always
I know that the whole world ships Jon Snow and Daenerys.
just be
Because we want them both to be on the throne. That's why.
yeah.
I don't really want Daenerys on the throne, to be honest.
What? Why?
I don't think
Oh my
she
gosh.
makes for a competent leader of the world. I'm sorry.
They're
Because
the
she's
most...
a woman.
Yeah.
No.
Seriously.
No.
Not with her. Not with
You're
her.
not with her.
You'd rather have some blonde tyrant
Wow.
lording over
Okay, I'm just.
Westeros.
It's my
Can't
opinion.
we have a
that-
woman win in the fictional world?
Come on.
Don't even go there. It's not,
need that.
it's not even about that she's a woman. I just don't think I don't think she heeds the advice for counsel. I think she's
Yeah, she
too
does.
impulsive. I think she's too easily swayed.
Hysterical. She has a time of the month.
Yeah.
That's
That
not
can
what
be
I'm saying.
dangerous.
Yeah.
She killed one guy.
If you don't
Maybe
give her
two.
chocolate, she can't make any
She
Senate
crucified
decisions.
all those guys.
Two guys.
I'm just saying. I don't think Daenerys is the best ruler of the world.
Well, I think
It's
she's
just me.
The thing that could temper her, the thing she's not great at, would be ruling with Jon Snow.
Yes.
So I feel like it's the combination of two. Although I'm gonna say,
Fire and ice, right?
I kind of think like
Song of Fire and Ice.
the
It's not-
therapist brain in me, because I am a therapist. I'm like, for her own mental health, I really kind of want her with dark. Like she's got so much stuff going on. I'm like, I just want you to have sex with somebody who's fun, who makes you laugh, who's got a great butt, and just like,
Yeah.
there's nothing like I almost wish she could like be a queen. Jon Snow's maybe married, but she just
Right.
gets. I just feel like she needs somebody to lighten the mood.
Don't you think that
What about-
Dario would hurt her eventually, though? Like, end up sleeping around?
No, I don't think
Dario?
he's that smart.
Yeah.
I think he would
For sure.
I think
he
he
would sleep
would.
around, but I don't think
Yeah.
she would care.
I think Jorah Mormont would make for a good, like, stable, at-home
Yeah, but she doesn't
husband.
love him.
I think he would help
And
with her
then
daddy
Dario.
issues for sure. 'Cause
Yeah.
she's got daddy issues.
Who doesn't?
You know what I mean?
We all got daddy issues.
She just doesn't love him, though. There's people that she
Yeah.
loves,
Yeah.
and you get the sense that she loves Jon Snow now too.
But they haven't
Yeah.
found out. She's like, what's gonna happen when she finds out? Oh, my brother,
gonna
you're my
get
you're my
married.
brother's
No,
kid.
I'm telling you, they don't.
Oh.
I'm from Oklahoma. Some people don't care about this.
Also, literally,
don't.
in the history of
Everyone
Game of
cared
Thrones,
when it was Cersei and Lancel, and they're even further distant in relation than Jon and
but
Daenerys.
they're not Targaryens.
Yeah, Targaryens are known for marrying their own.
Targaryens-
Don't
It's
even
okay
pretend
there.
like you're the whole country's working in the Targaryen logic.
just saying they
Everyone's
keep it
just
in the
like,
family.
whatever, they're attractive and we like them together.
Yeah,
But
that's it.
It's
They're
incest.
Targaryens. They're Targaryens. They don't care. It's like the
Also-
They're
same.
strikingly
It
beautiful.
was very my Twitter feed blew up with pictures of Jon Snow's ass. So
Yeah.
when that happened, so I just think there's a lot of support for this.
All right.
They're the most honorable people left in the show.
Yeah,
so
the-
let's put them together.
The only thing is, like, the only way for this to have the whole show to have a good ending is to have them get married, which makes me suspicious that they won't.
Right.
It won't happen.
It feels too good.
Yeah,
it's gonna
Jon
be
Snow's
too
gonna find out.
good.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, I can't do it." Right?
Wow. Wow,
Jon-
you just became Scotty from
do
Star
it.
Trek.
I can't do
I
it.
don't have the power.
Don't have the power.
Don't know.
All right, moving on.
Yeah,
I
one
guess
of
Jon
them's
Snow
gonna have to die
wins.
at the end.
Fine, you devilish matchmakers, you. Moving on. Let's go just to a couple auxiliary characters real quick. We have Queen Marjorie. Who was she
I
best
loved
with?
her.
Who was she best with? Renly, Joffrey, or Tommen?
Tommen, because she could do what she wanted to.
You know what? I go with
finally.
really it was. I think really Renly. Honestly, if we're calling it, I recant what I said about Sansa because really, Marjorie is was what we call a queer deer. Like she just wants to go see drag shows and like be around gay guys and like people say, "Oh, I love your shoes," and she's like, "Thank you." That's all she wants.
Okay.
So Renly is like her main squeeze. She's just like.
So there'll be Will and Grace in it on the
Yes. Yes, she's like my first girlfriend, Lacey Morris. She just wants to be with a bunch of gay guys.
I love that. You won me over.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, deal. You know what? We'll go with Renly.
Okay, cool.
They're power couple. They
Yeah.
know what it is.
Exactly.
All right.
Oh, this next one.
And this next one
gosh.
is just a hard choice. We got Brienne of Tarth.
Oh.
Okay, and we
mean-
got two strong bachelors, Jaime Lannister or Tormund Giantsbane.
I gotta go with Tormund. I gotta go. Maybe it's just because he's a large, hairy man and I identify with him. But the love that he has for her and that he shows immediately, I think the only reason is she's kind of pushing against it is because she's not used to people looking at her that way.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Like both of them, they're like
Yeah.
huge. They're not the normal, like what you would describe as beautiful or handsome. So the fact that we have these two people coming together on the show, I think that's why we all really enjoy watching it, because it's not the romance that you would anticipate a show on HBO promoting.
Right. No, I totally agree. Tormund, he just has this just puppy love, infatuation coming from a big old man. It just seems so. It's a healthy contrast, you know.
And you feel like he would be okay with being bossed around a little bit by her?
Oh,
Yeah.
he would
Like-
love it.
And
Yeah.
also,
Hand her the reins.
not to keep promoting,
reins, huh?
not to keep promoting my spin-off here, but they would be the great neighbors that live next to Cersei in the Game of Trailer.
Oh, but that,
I mean,
yeah.
I
that
mean,
would
they would be
great.
like the wild and crazy neighbors. I don't know.
I dig
It's
it.
not gonna happen.
I dig it. Okay.
I
Well,
think that's the
what
most
I wanted to
solid
know.
relationship there, though.
Yeah, I mean, I will say, to be devil's advocate, she is maybe the one people that could save Jamie, that could get Jamie out of his.
Yeah.
I think Jamie is.
I think Jamie's kind of doomed. I
He's
think
like-
he's kind of like
He's like a really
tragic figure.
Yeah, he's a brooding rock star. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Tormund.
Tormund wins.
Tormund.
So let me. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Tormund is with Brienne. Renly's with Marjorie. Jon Snow's with Daenerys. The Mountain with Cersei.
Yeah.
Peter Baelish with Sansa.
Franken Mountain.
Can we for a second talk about the worst relationship on the show?
Absolutely.
In my opinion, this is Stannis and Melisandre. When they conceived, they had a demon shadow
Right.
baby.
That was hot.
He cheated on his wife with her, and also he sacrificed his daughter. And Melisandre's vision never came true. So all of this for nothing.
It's a toxic relationship.
I mean, it's.
Well, let me ask you this: what was worse, Stannis and Melisandre, or Stannis and Selyse, his wife?
That's a good question.
Well, Selyse, it felt like more like a loveless marriage that he was
Yeah.
only in it for the daughter, and then with
Even then,
Melisandre, it's
yeah.
like she was a wicked witch that made him burn his daughter alive. So I
Yeah.
think that is worse.
And they had
So you're-
demon shadow babies.
Yeah, I mean, granted, I think the demon shadow babies aren't as bad as the burning the live person alive, but
If you want to focus on that.
You want to hear?
I'm just saying.
Bring us down, Dave Child.
I'm just saying, if I found a woman and we fell in love, and every time we made love, it produced a demon shadow baby, I would say I wouldn't necessarily be a problem or red flag in the relationship. It would just mean we have hopefully a lot of demon shadow babies.
Well, I mean, hopefully your Valentine's Day next year is just,
full of
similar.
demon shadow babies.
Yeah.
I love you guys. Let's do a little ship or sink for real quick. Relationships. Do you ship them or do you sink the ship, or do you just want to watch them tread water? For the bastards, we have Oberyn and Arya Sand.
I love them. Are you
ship
kidding?
them?
They're beautiful.
I mean,
They're
yeah.
warriors. They're badass. She avenged his death. I mean, that is love.
I'm not even into women and she's hot. I'm into it.
What about Grey Worm and Missandei?
Yeah, I ship it.
I mean, they can never even speak to each other, but they give really intense looks. So their love language is just like staring.
Grey
And I
Worm
dig
reminds me
it.
of my boyfriend. I love him.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Oh, I hope not too much.
No, not
Okay.
not where it matters. He's all
Okay, good.
not a unit. Not a unit. He's just strong and quiet. That's what I meant. I'm so glad my boyfriend doesn't watch my shows.
What about Ramsay and Miranda? I actually like their relationship.
Ramsay, I don't want him to be in any
don't-
relationship.
He's the 50th shade of Grey in the whole show.
But he's kind of not. You haven't seen those movies, have you?
I actually haven't. No, I don't know.
That's good.
They're
He's a
amazing.
psychopath.
You know what? I think.
Let me ask you this: Shay and Tywin or Shay and Tyrion? Who do you ship?
Obviously, Tyrion
Tyrion. I wanted it to be because Tyrion was really in love with
loved her.
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate. I think Shay tried to preserve herself, and that's why she went with Tywin.
You think?
No,
You think that-
I think it.
All right.
Bitch ain't worth
Yeah.
it for him.
Yeah.
No, I mean the best
Sink
part
it.
of that relationship was Tyrion strangling her.
Come
So
on.
Sam and Gilly?
Yeah.
You think
Obviously,
are they going to end up
yes.
together? At this
They're
point, I'm asking: Is
perfect
the
together.
ship going to ship or is it going to sink? I mean, at this point
Into the
in the
horizon.
conversation, we only have a few. We have a lot of history of sex, love, and relationships with all these characters. But moving forward into this next season, we only have a handful. We have Grey Worm and Missandei. We have Jaime and Cersei, possibly Jaime and Brienne, perhaps Brienne and Tormund, and then we have Daenerys and Jon, and that's pretty much all of the
Daenerys-
relationships left that are intact in the entire show.
Dog.
yeah,
So
Weeding them
is-
out, everybody. We don't have time. They're dying or lying or going.
we had a
Will-
lot of tragic Cinderella stories.
We did, and I would say the ultimate relationship that really started everything off was Lyanna Stark and Rhaegar Targaryen. Thank God for them, otherwise we wouldn't have a show. But
Laura Snow.
but let me ask you this: at the end of the series, what do you foresee standing the test of time? Will there be an ultimate love or an ultimate couple? Will there be several? Will Sam and Gilly still be together? Will Jon and Daenerys end up together? Will Brienne and Tormund end up together? What do you guys think will be the ultimate love story of this series?
I could see that actually Sam and Gilly might be the only couple standing at the end of this.
I'm going with a triple yes because I believe in love. Yes to all of them.
That's to all of them.
They all just get happy and in love, and everyone
It ends
survives.
very well.
That would be so
Lots of
disappointing.
marriages in the final season of
Yeah,
Game
because
of
all the
Thrones.
weddings have all
think
worked
Brandon-
out.
weddings.
I think Brandon and Gilly are going to be the only ones to do it, yeah.
It would be like a much ado about nothing ending, just
Yeah.
like everyone getting married.
Yeah,
Montage
yeah, everyone just couples up.
marriages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Double marriages everywhere.
I could see that. I could see that. I mean, seeing as how every single wedding that we've ever had in the show has ended absolutely terribly, big bloodbath.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a moment where Daenerys and Jon are going to be together, and you think they could make it, and then something terrible happens. That's what my guess
I
is.
really hope not because I need at least one of my dreams to come true.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well,
Like in life, okay?
as my dad
Hey,
used
you
to
met a beautiful man at a Polly Shore party.
He's 70 years old. My father used to say, well, Matthew, you can wish in one hand or shit in the other and see what fills up first.
I love that.
So
Amen.
There
I
you
think
go.
that's where we should end.
there you go.
That was
Just
that
positivity.
was beautiful.
That doesn't sound good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Exactly.
Thank you for joining us, Matt Marr. And thank you guys so much. I think that just about wraps it up with sex, love, and relationships here. We could go on for hours, but we will be back
Hours.
next month Next month, we're going to be talking about the psychology of Game of Thrones. Kristen, you're going to be bringing in a special guest?
Yes, Dr. Haig Gunjan will be joining us to talk about the psychology of Game of Thrones. We're going to have
a lot.
Yes, and we're going to have a doctor in studio.
Very cool.
It's going to be amazing.
And you can find us, we're going to be every last Thursday of the month until the new season starts. So find us here every last Thursday.
Just tell Siri to remind you on Thursday morning. Say, hey, Siri, Game of Thrones tonight,
Yeah, I tell
last
you what.
Thursday.
I tell you what, guys, go ahead and subscribe. It's real easy. We
yeah,
come once
or
a
that.
month. You subscribe right now. You won't miss another show. Give us a thumbs up if you liked what you saw. We're also on iTunes. Give us a comment. Tell us who you love to love or who you love to hate in the comments below. We always love reading them. One last bit of news, I'm sure is old news by now, but it relates to our show. Did you guys know Kit Harington and Rose Leslie, who played Ygritte, are actually engaged in real life? This happened back in September. We'll try and stay up to date with their wedding.
They're
But
gonna
that's
get married.
This is just a beautiful couple. I love it when it works out like that.
It's
They
like when Sansa adopted her dire wolf in real life. I just love that.
Is that true?
Yeah, she
Really?
adopted
I
her
didn't know
dire.
that.
She adopted her dire wolf in real life.
wow.
So can you imagine Sophie Tucker's just walking down the street and there's her wolf and you're like, yeah, it really happened.
I will be watching Dave run after a woman while I'm freaking out about some wolf. It's gonna happen someday. I can see into the future.
Sure, thank you for that vote of confidence.
You're welcome. So that about does it here, guys. Thank you so much. We'll see you next month. If you want to get more of a fix, we have a new show that's going to be continuing called Game of Thrones Weekly. So be sure to check that out. They're going to be doing weekly recaps of old seasons. But until next time, we'll be back with some more Game of Thrones news and topics next month right here at AfterBuzz TV.
Bye.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
And love.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening
The views
to the
expressed herein are those of the
AfterBuzz
hosts
TV
only and do not
network.
necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.